All right, we'll start. Whoever will join, we'll have to catch up. Can everybody hear me?
¿Qué pasa?
Yes.
Okay. Shai, you're muted out, but can you hear us?
Yeah, now I
Yes,
do.
excellent.
Hi.
Hi guys. Okay, let's do it. We have about like 30 minutes, so let's see. Just I do like 2 minutes introduction. I'll turn it to Megan. What it is we are doing today a little bit a presentation, 10-15 minute presentation each. Megan will do it, and I will do it on the typical Israeli political process in a very simple or simpleton's way, if you will. I'm certainly simpleton in politics. And my name is Lev Nelik, and you're on the Perplex Club. This is just basically our coordinates. Zoom ID and password, just my marketing promotion for our club. And what we do now in our the Perplex Club, usually talk about all range of issues, religion, science, medicine, you name it. But the whole idea to make them non-confrontational. This is not a debate forum. This is not to prove how wrong you are and how right I am. This is to present your position and hear the opposing view or complimentary say, very interesting. What do you feel? Do you agree with me? Not really, but I understand where you're coming from. This is just information. We love each other before we go on the presentation. So Megan and I attended Megan's party meeting a couple of days ago before Shabbat. I have to say, I know Megan for hybrid. I know Megan for many years, and I have to say, as I said in the meeting, I'm very grateful to her because when my wife and I made Aliyah, she was extremely helpful to us. And I know she's helpful not only to us, to many, many people. So to me, when I know that Megan joined the party, a political party, I said, I don't care what the party stands for. If Megan is there, it's already good. So my party is, and I'll talk about the names of party a little bit later, coincides with Megan's party to some degree, but some things were diametrically opposite. But in many things, like for better life, better cleaning Beersheba, the human factor, how to respect each other, we really come together very nicely together. And so we decided our conversation to have a little presentation. And then because it's recorded, it will be available onto YouTube. So even though we now only have like maybe 10 people, but eventually entire 10 million Israelis and then 8 billion people in the world will have opportunity to see how the political process in Beersheba look like. Many Americans don't even know the local election in Israel. What's election about? It's October 31st. Is that for the president? Is that for the prime minister? No, it's for the mayor and the council. And what's mayor and the council? And how many parties? 5, 7, 20, 100? So Megan will give us a little bit more of maybe a couple of minutes overview of the process, and then she'll tell us what she and her party stand for. And then I'll maybe 10-15 minutes. I'll give you like, before you finish, like 5 minutes, I'll give you like red flag, stand up. And then I'll continue with my 10-15 minutes, and I'll have discussions. And we only have 40 minutes. We're going to a cheap man's Zoom, only 40 minutes, which keeps us honest. We can't go for too long. So Megan, let me turn it on to you.
Hi, Megan.
Love it. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to see, like, some of you guys I haven't seen in a while. So hello. Lev, thank you for putting this together, and thank you for inviting me. So just to be on time, I'll tell you guys just a little bit, remind you how it works for municipal elections. We're finding a lot in our headquarters when we're calling even Israelis who have been here for a long time. They're like, but how does it work? Because it works a little bit different from the way that the Knesset elections work. So in any city, you're going to be, for municipal elections, they happen every 5 years. You're going to be voting for, the little slips of paper in high-tech nation, but very low-tech voting that we do. But little slips of paper, you'll pick a yellow one that will be for mayor, and you'll pick the white one, which will be for city council. In Beersheba, we actually have a totally uncontested mayor's race. Uvik Danilovich, who has been mayor for the past 15 years, is running. He's the only one. No one's running against him. So the real race now is for city council. The city council in Beersheba, think of like the city council as like a mini Knesset. Your number of seats are based on the population, the size of the population of the city. Beersheba has 27 seats. And this year we have 12 different political parties from the entire range of parties running, some connected to national parties, some that are totally local, some that might be connected to national parties, but have a local agenda. So it's a very, very different. If someone says that they're Likud, my 2 cents is don't necessarily think that they're Likud traditionally as with the rest of the country, because things on the local level are very zoomed in on local issues. So again, on October 31st, you're going to go into your polling station. You're welcome to, I'll give you guys my contact information if you need help finding out where your polling station is. I'm happy to help you find it. And you'll give your Torah ZoomPodCast or your driver's license or your passport. Any of those work as identification. They'll check you off the list. They'll give you an envelope. You'll put your 2 slips in and make sure it's just 1 yellow slip and just 1 white slip. If you accidentally put in 2 because it got stuck together or something, then it's null and void and your vote will be thrown out. You stick it in the ballot box, get your Torah ZoomPodCast back, and go on with the rest of your day, which is a paid holiday. So vote early, vote often. No, don't vote often. Please don't do that. Vote one time. But vote early and then enjoy the rest of your day. Polling opens at 7 and closes, I believe, at 9. But I wouldn't wait until the end. I can double check. It might be 9, it might be 10. Excuse me?
It's October 31st. When is the election?
Yes, sir. October 31st. So less than a month away. It's getting really heated at this point too. So you guys are going to see lots of signs out. You're going to see lots of noise everywhere. Okay. So does anyone have questions about the elections themselves, or should I jump into maybe who I represent?
Oh, you could jump to, yeah.
Yeah,
You can
go ahead. We are all
Awesome.
ears.
Let's do it. I'm just going to close my WhatsApp though, because it's making noise and that's not fair to you guys with little dings in the background. Okay, so I represent a party called Kehillah. Kehillah means community in Hebrew, and really our focus is true to the word Kehillah, that we're trying to bring together social activists and people working in the Beersheba community now, not just their. I'm going to get into city council and then I'm going to start working. These are people who have volunteered for the past, some over a decade, in various areas within Beersheba to help make Beersheba a better place. And I think a lot of those things are reflected within our community our Kehillah platform. I'll tell you each of our platform steps in just a second. I will say that we recognize that the city has been developing a lot, and we're really proud of the development. We like Ruvik. We think Ruvik is doing a wonderful job. We do think that Ruvik needs to be challenged a little bit, and he's had a city council. The last elections, he got 16 of the 27 seats on city council, so he had a natural coalition that he didn't have to build a coalition with anyone. And that's nice for him, but we really feel that there need to be other voices heard in order to challenge him and in order to bring up, I'm sure he has to see how dirty the city is. He has to see how broken the sidewalks are. It blows my mind if he doesn't actually see these things, but his party is not challenging him enough. So we believe that we have to, it is our duty, those of us who are not in the coalition and those of us who are supportive of Ruvik, but to come in and to push him and say, hey, listen, let's not forget the social agenda and the things that are really important on top of all the development and making things incredible. And I'll say one small thing too about politics at the national level. There's a lot of junk going on and everyone is really at each other's throats. We recognize the right of every person to stand for their political opinions, no matter what side of the political map that they're on. But we also believe that we don't need to let national politics affect the social fabric of Beersheba, because we've done so well for so long being a very diverse city. It's a pretty right-leaning city, but there are lots of other smaller groups and communities that have all really lived here, kind of in the sense of Abraham and an Abraham's tent. We welcome everyone in. We love everyone in that sense. So we really want to focus on Be'er Sheva as much as possible. Now we have 6 party platform issues that we're really focused on. I'm happy to go into them a little bit more in depth if you have questions, but I'll just tell you kind of like in one line. I can also send you guys our translated platform in English if you're interested early and really go through it, like Lev did, because Lev, you're awesome. Like Lev went through the whole thing and like had notes, so I appreciate how thorough you are, sir. So our first item is strengthening the relationship between the residents and the municipality. And what do we mean by that? We really want to encourage transparency between what goes on in the city and the city council and the people who live here. Okay, so I have someone who's been talking to me about issues that they have, and they just want to be able to come to the city council meeting where that issue is going to be discussed, but they don't know how to find out when the city council meetings are going to be. So we want to work on that type of transparency. I see that my internet's stable. Do you guys still hear me okay?
Yeah, we can, a little bit breaking
Yeah,
up,
the picture is so.
but yeah,
It is
mostly we can
cutting,
hear you.
but
Every
okay.
so often you break up, but mostly we hear you. 95% we get.
Now 0%. There she is.
No, she's
Yeah,
coming
she's
back.
coming
Okay,
back.
all right, now we hear you and
That's
see you.
what I said, and I got bumped off. All right, so I'll finish with don't take for Lev's time. Our second item on our platform is strengthen community and social responsibility. We have different parts of our platform where we want to focus on low-income families and special populations. We want to work on discourse and education and bullying in schools to really to combat bullying. We also support the Pride community and youth movements within the city, and also older adult populations. Again, I know that that's really broad. I'm happy to send this to you so you can go into it more in depth. I want to be respectful of our time right now. Our third issue is environmental quality and animal welfare. It's very important for us to help Be'er Sheva become a city that embraces sustainability and recycling and green building as much as possible. Shading, like I think we can all probably agree it's very hard to walk around in this city in the summertime because of a lack of shade. We're very quickly becoming an urban heat island, and we need to be prepared to deal with that. And then also animal welfare. I mean, I don't think I need to tell any of you guys how really difficult it is to see the stray animals around the city, whether you're grossed out by them or whether your heart breaks for them. I think that we all really want the same type of solution, which is to control the population, make sure the population that is there is spayed and neutered, make sure that they're healthy, and reduce it as much as possible, because we also want to reduce suffering and reduce transmission of diseases and things. Our fourth issue is supporting small businesses, because small businesses really are the DNA of any city, and there's a lot of bureaucracy that small businesses have to go through here in Be'er Sheva. It's really just left over from the old guard. It doesn't have to be that way, but not enough people are listening, unfortunately, to the issues and the needs of these small businesses. And unfortunately, a lot close. And we want to help to create a sustainable small business community here in Be'er Sheva. Number 5 is cultural activities. We really want to support local artists and creators. We want to make cultural events also accessible for everyone. We're talking physical accessibility and also financial accessibility. So making sure that we're able to provide subsidized tickets for families that can't pay 150 shekel a ticket to go to a concert, because art and culture should be for everyone. And our last stance is on public transportation. We really want to improve the frequency of the bus lines in Be'er Sheva. We want to start a conversation with the Ministry of Transportation to deal with the train issue, meaning not having trains after 7 o'clock at night from Be'er Sheva to Tel Aviv, which is absolutely ridiculous. We also want to be able to reflect the complaints that we're getting from residents to the bus service. Okay, as it works here in Beersheba, the bus service won a tender for the municipality, so they answer to the municipality. They don't answer to us, the residents who are affected by their bad driving or their poor behavior or the lack of lines coming, et cetera, et cetera. Unfortunately, I think we've probably all experienced that. The last thing I will say, just a little bit about the people who are on our list, and then I will be done in about a minute and a half. The head of our list is Tzach Barak. He was the former owner of Lola Cafe. He is born and bred here in Beersheba. He and I are the same age. He is a small business guru and owner, and he currently sits on Beersheba City Council. So we really want him to continue his work into this next term. Our number 2 is Nazal Tahar. She lives in the Dalit neighborhood and is really concerned about what is going on there. She's also a greenist and into sustainability. We also have Shlomit Zar, who's the president of the Beersheba Pride House. Gilad Neiman, who is a business owner. And me, I'm on there too somewhere. So I would be more than happy again to share all of our platform with you and to go into even deeper questions or issues, hear your concerns. And if we don't have time today, then I'm sure that Lev will be able to connect this afterwards, or I'll also put my email address and my phone number into
the chat right now. Excellent. Thank you, Megan. Thank you very much. Okay, we have now I'm going to go with my presentation briefly. Yeah, Jonathan, can you hear us? Okay. Okay, everybody see Megan just gave you her phone number and email. And also for those people who watch this tape later on, you can freeze it and get and call her for any questions. Now, because I only have 10 minutes, obviously I will be very brief, and any additional questions, you can call me and I'm going to freeze it on here. I mean, I can read it backwards for me, but you can see here's my phone number. In the later on, you can always freeze the tape and just write it down, 050-865-0451. Megan's number is also there. Let me tell you very brief about me. I was born in Russia, and United Russia, garden by America for 37 years. Made Aliyah about 6.5 years ago. My wife and I are here. I am 69. I have 3 boys, 3 sons, and 6 grandchildren, all in America. So I want you guys, next time you go to synagogue, please pray that all of them will make Aliyah very quickly. That is what we're hoping they will do. And that will unite us all. Whether you're Dati or Chilani, pray that my children will come here to America in this case. All right. So I never been in politics. I'm an engineer. I'm mechanical engineer in pumps. And I worked all over the world as a mechanical engineer and never been in politics. And now all of a sudden something just clicked in my crazy brain and I decided to go to politics. Politicians usually promise a lot, as we all know, and do nothing. I decided to narrow my agenda only to a very small thing. I created a little brochure, and I have no idea. Like Megan knows a lot more about than me. I didn't know, how do you run to the, do you have a party? What kind of party? Can you just simply put your name? I have no idea how all this logistics are done at all. Never done. So I put together a little brochure because I'm volunteer for police, and actually it's not police, but neighborhood watch. From 9 to 1 o'clock, I drive around sometimes every so often during the month in Beersheba with police, and basically looking around to make sure everything is good. And if it's not good, not much we'll do about it, but at least it makes us feel comfortable that we'll do something about it. So that's what I do. This is me and my thing as a policeman running around. And you can see the garbage. You can see, so my platform, basically, I want to make Beersheba clean. Not to go after Donald Trump's make Beersheba great again. Because I said it one time, my wife said, well, you want to make Beersheba great again? When was it great before? So you want to make it again. So she was just joking about it. But I basically want to do a very simple thing. If somebody is coming with a garbage bag and drops it by 2 meters before the garbage dumpster and just walks away, which is typical Beersheba, 750 shekels fine. And it already exists. It's nothing new. I just want to reinforce it. And we all know why police doesn't reinforce it, because they have to run and get a cup of coffee. They don't have time to do that. It's typical shtiyot and balagan and bureaucracy of Beersheba. But be as it may, I'm trying to change it. And second one, if somebody walking the dog and the dog poops and don't clean it, click, send the picture to Beersheba 106 number, and you get them, and they get a fine $750. It sounds like snitching a little bit, or snitching on people, but this is for a good cause. So I'm creating the police state in Beersheba that will be going, totalitarian regime that go after the people who make Beersheba dirty and make sure they get fined so Beersheba becomes clean. That's all I have. Once I created this, all of a sudden I get a phone call from these guys. And these guys are from a party, Tzir Neaman. This is their party. And they have their brochures, but I don't have time to show it, but they'll show it. This is obviously, this is number one guy right here, Nachum Karelitz, and he's Ashkenazi, and his number two guy is a Sephardi guy. You can see they're religious. So they're looking for number three guys who have to be Chiloni, because they want to be all inclusive. We're not like crazy religious fanatics. We're all inclusive. We have religious, we have non-religious, we have right, we have left, we have everybody. Very nice position. And a lot of their position, and they have also, just like Megan has, they have this brochure which describes a lot of things what they're standing for. It's a lot of words. So
what's the name, Lev? What's the name of the party, your party?
The name, the symbol, okay, the symbol for the party, it's Tzadi Yud. And that's the symbol Tzadi Yud. And the name of the party here, Tzir Neaman. Over here. Oh, the party of Karelitz, Nachum Karelitz. Okay, that's what they are. But they basically now I thought, when I said to them, I said, listen, guys, don't give me the 57-point brochure. In 3 words, as a man can stand on 1 foot. Can you tell me in 2 minutes what exactly you're for, briefly? So they told me, and basically this is in Hebrew, English, and Russian, because I speak Russian, English, and a little bit of a Hebrew, okay? And it says, number 1, in favor of Jewish identity, tradition, values, and history. Jewish values. What's Jewish values? Well, that's for the next discussion. All right. Number 2, against New World Order. They're not conspiracy theorists that somebody is pulling the strings and brains and getting our brain work some direction, but they basically believe that a lot of world went crazy. We want to go back to basics. Don't tell me a big brother how to behave, how to live my life. Let Beersheba be Beersheba. I don't want to do what Manhattan tells me to do. And then 3rd, against pedophilia and teaching of gender complexities and sexual illnesses in school. Obviously, being the Tea Party, they're standing for traditional Torah values. And in that sense, maybe we a little bit divert with Megan's party because they're more inclusive in that way than the Tea Party, of course, would be. But 80% or 90% is very similar between us, essentially. And what it comes to, they also for a small guy. They also to say, if the guy opens a stand, give him a license. You want to stand falafel, give him a license to stand falafel. Don't torture him for 10 years how to sign application with right hand, left hand, and where is a city hall to get your license. Basically, give a breaks to a small guy. Make sure the developers build smaller, newer, but smaller apartment for single people, for widows, for small couples, that they can't afford 2.5 million shekels apartments, 5 rooms. They only need 1 or 2 rooms for 1 million shekels. Make it available. So basically, a lot of the similarities they come into, and actually, like I say, they wanted the number 3 guy being Hilani to be more inclusive. I am number 4 guy, and I don't know if I'm Hilani or Dati. I would say, Megan might disagree, but I would say my rough estimate, and that's David Moran. He's also my good friend and a grandfather of the Perplex Club. We have the Perplex Club in which you're participating, which is, as I mentioned, open to all ideas without being critical, not debate, but discussions. And basically, what we are saying is we want to create an atmosphere that people can express, as Megan said, have a closer connection to the city hall. You don't have to make an appointment with the mayor of the city and wait for 2.5 years to go for the meeting. There will be open discussions, open meetings. And And I would say my rating always like on a scale of 0, David explained to me one time, 0 to 10, it's the right wingers, 0 to -10 left wingers, quote unquote, just being a little bit jokeful. My party probably is like +7. They're not quite to the Smotrich level, but somewhere 6 or 7. In other words, if I go outside, like you see me, you see my neck, I'm not going to say, well, it's not proper that I have to put myself like this. So I'm 7, otherwise I'm not 10. So I'm like +6, +7. Megan, in my estimate, probably like -3, 0 to -3 a little bit. But like I said, 80% of us were probably somewhere between -1 to +1. The core of us somewhere in the center. That basically my 10, 15 minutes about my party, so to speak. I leave it now. Maybe Megan wants to add some more to that, but I think I gave her my phone number. Megan has her phone number. Any more questions? Megan, by the way, have an entire write-up of the party platform. So do I. She can always send it to you, and you can read it in your convenience and understand all more details. But I think I'm going to shut up now for a second. It's very difficult to present a lot of material in 5 minutes. Ruben, go ahead. You have a question.
We can only vote for one party. Is that right?
Megan?
Okay.
So you vote for one party for city council and you vote for one person for mayor. So yeah, you can only vote for one party.
I didn't understand. I don't understand how.
Go
You
ahead,
need to
Aida.
put two tickets.
Okay.
Yes. So there's like, let's pretend, hold on, I'm gonna get a piece of paper. So let's pretend you've got one slip and it's gonna have a name on it. That's for the mayor. And then you're gonna have another slip that's white and it's gonna have a letter on it, or 2 letters. Like Lev said that his party is Tzedek. So you're gonna see Tzedek in white, and that's when you're gonna pick for the city council.
It will be like this. Oh,
Okay.
Megan, what is your symbols, Megan?
Megan is
Pay,
pay
hey.
hey.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, I wrote it in the chat for everyone.
So basically, for mayor, you can vote Rubik, which is this Derech Hadash, whatever, and someone. And for council, you can vote someone from a different party than the mayor.
Well, not exactly, because for mayor you're not voting for Haderech HaChadashah. For mayor you're voting for Ruvik. And then
okay.
Both my party and Lev's party are running against Ruvik's party.
Yeah.
Which is
but you
Haderech
can vote
HaChadashah.
Rubik and you can vote Lev or you. You can do that. Okay, perfect.
Absolutely.
Or any other parties, like maybe there's a 20 of
any
them.
other party. Yeah.
Other questions, guys?
What kind of concerns do you have for the city too? Maybe
I'm
tell
sure
us.
I've heard one of the problems for small businesses, especially in Beersheba, is that they get extorted by Bedouins. I don't know if anything can be done about that. Like,
Lev, do you
pay
wanna
us so
take-
much per month, or we're going to break your windows, that kind of thing.
Right. Well, and that comes into an issue of security, not even just for small, there's the issues of bureaucracy for small businesses, and then there's the issue of personal security, which I think we probably can all agree that is not great these days in Beersheba. We don't have a specific stance on it other than we want to continue supporting whatever's going to lower the violence in the city. Ruvik, his last term instated, I'm sure you guys probably all saw it on your Arnona bill, a fee for the security brigade that goes around. They're the ones that have the orange and blue flashing lights, if you've seen them at all. And they're meant to make you feel safer and have a presence. People are very divided about whether they think that worked or not.
I have a question.
Yeah.
David?
Sorry for interrupting you. It's just I think there's not a lot of time left. I have seen the car of the security brigade. My question is, how is it that every 2 months when we get the Arnona bill, the Arnona is always up 5 shekels.
It's a very good question. I don't know how to answer it, but I'm happy
Yeah,
to take
I'm
the
not
question.
asking you. I'm not asking you. Of course, I'm not blaming anyone. Definitely
No,
not
but I'm
you.
saying, like, let me, if I can find a logical answer to give you.
It's like, yeah, this is something should be addressed, because the Arnona
Mhm.
should be, if it's nobody announces that there's gonna be a raise in the Arnona. We don't get,
raise, right.
we don't get emails or SMS to our phones, or a notice on the radio or internet or whatever that, hey, okay, listen, guys, we have raised the Arnona 0.5% or something for the next
Well,
6 months or something. And
So
the
an
Arnona
issue of
is always,
transparency, that would be an
Yeah.
excellent idea.
and
Absolutely.
the
That would
Arnona
be
is
something
always
to advertise.
every 2 months. The Arnona is like up 5 shekels.
but
So-
David, you also, as an Israeli, you have to be completely aware that most of the things in Israel are working by the miracle. There's very little logic.
It's a miracle that it rises every 2 months in 5
Exactly.
shekels. It is a miracle.
If we make a parking lot, it will make sure you can get in, but you can't get out unless you turn around and hit 2 cars along the way. If we make a park, we'll make it right in the middle of living accommodation, people cannot sleep. If we go to the beach and say no smoking, there will be a bunch of people sitting right into the sign of smoking. That's how Israel works. I remember we met with Megan one time with my wife, and Megan was helping us to find some papers. And my wife, Helene, says to her, what happens if they will send it and if they lose our papers? Megan says, not what if, they will lose your papers. You will lose the papers. Just get over that. It will happen for sure. So make a copy and remember it. So she is very realistic, but you have to look at Israel with humor. You have to look at the situation. Listen, if I went out today to buy milk and they happen not to have it today because milk only will be on Tuesday at 5 o'clock, and then that's just normal. And if I find out you come in and they have milk, and say, well, what a pleasant surprise. So we have to be happy that it's only 5 shekels or not 25 shekels.
It's like that. We're all Mediterranean peoples are like that. I discovered that, well, not yesterday, of course, but quite some time ago, that it's the same thing with Italians and Greeks and Spaniards. We're all the same. All we Mediterranean peoples are balagan. That's the way we are.
It's very true, but I really, like, in all sincerity, I think it's a wonderful point to transparency in the city. Like, why am I being charged this? To let people aware.
The sound is cutting,
these...
Megan.
Yeah.
Megan,
go ahead, Aida.
Say something.
We didn't hear you.
My internet is so bad. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Aida had a question.
I have a very big issue. The people that are hopefully you coming to the council to address, which is bus transportation and bus drivers. The things that I have seen in 4 years defies imagination. Maybe because I come from Canada, maybe like the comparison, I don't know what it is. I have seen drivers not let Ethiopians get into the bus.
Wow.
People who they think they are gay, not in the bus. Break a door, kicking the door to break it in order to open it. Cursing in Arabic to people, shouting insane things. I seen driving like madmen, not stopping when they don't, and not letting me in when they don't think like it. For example, they choose the people that they let in, only to stop 2 meters after you to pick up another person that they seems more appropriate for them. This is beyond anything. I don't think that happened in, I didn't see that happening in Tel Aviv. I didn't see that, and I take buses there from time to time, or in Jerusalem. Beersheba has an issue with drivers that I can
totally agree.
I But
It has an issue with, I have to say, it has an issue with Arab drivers, period.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Well, I mean, the
would-
majority of the driving force is Arab, so I mean, like,
Yes,
you're gonna.
like
I
the
would-
vast majority.
I would
80%.
add something. I think this is what I think one of the big benefits of Megan's party making it in, because my wife always tells me, and I agree. I mean, I love all the people in Israel, and we have a multicultural society. We have people, North Americans, who know how to program computer, and we have people for Yemen who never seen a car in their life. We have a complete spectrums. And I think that Beersheba, all Israel, but Beersheba particularly, can use American way of customer service. Megan represents that in her party. We can use some American has a lot of bad things, but America has a lot of good things. and it so happens, in my view, Israelis oftentimes take from America not the good things, and then the good things they don't. So the American voice, I mean, American, Canadian, Anglo's voice, British, South African's voice, I think it's a healthy thing to add to something that when the guy takes a wrapper with ice cream and throws it on the floor, he will know eventually, over time, not overnight, that it is not a good thing to do. Take it over and
Yeah, I
put it in
think
the garbage can. And
It'd
Americans
be
know
great if,
that
they
in
can
their
get
blood.
workmen to clean up after themselves.
Well, that's what Israelis mostly think. Well, I pull the
You
paper
know.
because the guy Uriah has to come clean for me. What do you mean, Uriah? You have to clean for yourself. Not everything Uriah has to do for you.
Lev, Megan has talked a few words about Rubik. What do you think about him?
Me?
Mhm.
I mostly agree with many things Rubik does, but I also feel that some of that effort is put in the center for the show. Because like the Tiviacho is great, the high rises building is great, and then there's the people. I mean, I like 90% I agree, I would say, but for example, I would rather take the money and help people in the Shchona Aleph and Beit who really can pay the mortgage and not to build as many fountains. That's just in brief, my view. So I'm not against, but I'm saying, like Megan said in the beginning, we all have our strong points and not so strong points. And I would also say Rubik can use, and that's what Megan is pushing, like to hear from people more. So like say that forum like we're talking about, we should be able to sit in front of Rubik and express what we feel. Whether he act on this or not is a different
Or
question.
even,
But at least,
let me add to that. Not even just sitting in front of Rubik, sitting in front of the people who are in charge of the different things and having them do their job.
yes.
Instead of it
Yeah.
all shouldn't have to go to Rubik. The person who's in charge of the environmental department needs to be doing his job. The people who, so totally agree with you.
I've been
100%.
asking why roughly once a month there's a terrible smell in Beersheba, coming maybe from Chovav or from Dudaim. And I met with Rubik told me to go talk to the environmental guy. I talked to him and he was like, do you have any facts? You're accusing Roman Chovav? Do you have any facts? I said, what is
But
facts?
Lev too, the only thing that guy has done the past 5 years is coordinate the trash pickup. That's the only thing that his department has done.
And my point is, if you're in charge of environmental things for 30 years, you should know where the smell is coming from. And he wants me to give facts so I don't accuse anybody. I said, I don't have any facts. I'm coming to you, asking you, professional. So I'm not picking on this guy necessarily, but I'm saying that's a typical example.
But right.
We will find excuses not to answer instead of just go ahead and finding it quickly. Guys, we have less than a minute left.
We got less than a minute left. I was really thank you guys so much for listening to me, and please be in touch if I can add anything else. Lev, you're incredible. Thank you. I really appreciate it for having a respectful conversation.
Thank you very much, guys.
And thank you, Megan. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we'll stay
Bye,
together,
bye.
okay?
Bye,
We shall
everybody.
overcome. And then Shabbat
Yes.
Shalom,
Yeah.
Shavuot Tov,
Shabbat
Happy
Shalom,
Holidays, Chag
Chag
Sameach,
Sameach.
all
Chag
good.
Sameach.
Love you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All the best.